see. No problem with this. Okay, Google. Good morning.
Good morning. The time is 4:19 a.m. Currently in Raytown it's 40 degrees with light rain. Today there will be rain and snow with a forecasted high of 41 and a low of 21. Here's a joke to start your morning. How do trees access the internet? They log in. No tasks for today. Have a good one. Here's the latest news. From AccuWeather Daily at 6:45 a.m. yesterday.
Okay, Google. Stop. Okay, Google. Good morning.
Hello, it's 4:20 a.m. Right now. Good morning. The time is 4:20.
Stop. Okay, Google. Good morning.
Good morning. The time is 4:20 a.m. Currently in Raytown it's
Stop.
40 degrees with light rain.
Okay,
Today, there will
Google.
be rain and snow.
Stop.
Got it. Stopping living room Roku.
Okay, Google. Okay, Google. Stop.
Okay, stopping living room Roku.
Okay, Google. Good morning.
Good morning. The time is 4:21 a.m. Currently in Raytown, it's
Google.
40 degrees.
Stop. I got two of them reading it. Okay, Google. Stop.
All right, stopping living room Roku.
I think that fixes it. Okay, Google. Stop.
Sure, stopping living room Roku.
Okay, Google. Good morning.
Hello, it's 4:22 a.m. Right now in Raytown, it's 40 degrees with light rain. Today, there will be rain and snow with a forecasted high of 41 and a low of 21. Here's a joke to start your morning. Why did the baker become a thief? Because he needed the dough. No tasks for today. Have a wonderful day. Here's the latest news. From AccuWeather Daily at 6:45 a.m. yesterday.
From AccuWeather.com, this is AccuWeather Daily, a brief host-read article. It's weather news in a nutshell.
Here's a quick podcast for all you true crime fans. The case of the missing Reese's. It was me at the store with my mouth. Motive? They're Reese's. What was I going to do? Stop myself? Tune in next time to see if I do it again. Spoiler, I will. Wow, that had everything. Reese's, suspense, Reese's.
A large area of accumulating snow will spread from the Rockies and the High Plains to much of the Midwest throughout the weekend. Motorists and airline passengers alike should anticipate substantial travel delays. Enough snow will fall to cause slippery roads in well over a dozen states, from the Rockies to the Plains, the Midwest, and even into a portion of the Appalachians. The first flakes from the storm began falling over parts of Idaho and western Montana on Thursday afternoon, and then will spread hundreds of miles to the southeast into Friday night. A coating of an inch or two of snow is forecast to fall along portions of Interstate 25 in Colorado, Wyoming, and Montana, as well as stretches of Interstates 70, 80, and 90. Denver is forecast to pick up its first measurable snow from the storm. Typically, the first snowfall occurs in mid-October in Denver. As the storm moves across the plains Friday night and into the Midwest on Saturday, an area of moderate to heavy snow will develop and expand. Travel along Interstates 70, 80, 90, and 94 will be difficult, with the potential for road closures due to accidents. AccuWeather's Carl Erickson said that the period from Saturday to Saturday night is likely to be the worst for travel, considering that the snowstorm will be in progress over such a large area. By Saturday, accumulating snow is likely to be falling along a 1,200-mile-long swath from west of Denver to east of Detroit. Airline passengers with stops or direct flights to and from Chicago, Detroit, Denver, Minneapolis, St. Louis, and Kansas City should anticipate delays and cancellations. Between 6 and 12 inches of snow is forecast to accumulate from southeastern South Dakota and Iowa through Michigan and into parts of Ontario. The AccuWeather local Storm Max snowfall for this storm is 18 inches. Rain will fall in the storm's warmer southern side, accompanied by a wintry mix in between the rain and accumulating snow. Thunderstorms in portions of Texas, Louisiana, and Arkansas are forecast to be severe on Saturday, with locally strong winds, torrential downpours, and perhaps hail. As the storm swings into southern Canada later in the weekend, a mixture of snow, sleet, and rain is forecast for the northern portions of the Appalachians and the areas surrounding Lakes Erie and Ontario. This includes the northern and western parts of Ohio and Pennsylvania, as well as western, central, and northern New York and northwestern New England from late Saturday night into Sunday. Rain is forecast from southeastern New England and the mid-Atlantic to I-20 in the southeast states by Sunday. The rain and associated fog and low clouds can be enough to slow motorists down on the highways and may lead to delays at the major airports and secondary hubs in the I-85 and I-95 corridors, including Boston, New York City, Philadelphia, D.C., Charlotte, and Atlanta. Much colder air is forecast to push southward in the wake of the weekend storm. Wet and slushy areas may freeze in parts of the Midwest on Sunday night. How far the cold air advances will determine the track the next winter storm will take. Most importantly, that track will then determine where a band of snow and ice develops on the northwestern flank of the storm. Snow and an icy mix may occur for several hours from the Ozark Mountains into Arkansas and Missouri, beginning on Monday and finishing up in New England on Tuesday night. There is the potential for accumulating snow in the zone from Boston to near New York City from Tuesday into Tuesday evening. Philadelphia may start as a mix of snow and rain on Tuesday morning, with all rain farther to the south in the I-95 zone. That's all for now. You can find more regional forecasts and science-based articles at AccuWeather.com, and for your local forecast at your fingertips, download the AccuWeather app. Enjoy the rest of your day. Be safe. I'll be back tomorrow with more from AccuWeather.
The greatest success book of all time has just been released by the #1 success coach in the world with over 100,000 five-star reviews. It's called Your Wish is Your Command, and it contains the missing keys to the law of attraction and reveals the ultra-secret mystical manifestation algorithm. This book is available for a limited time. Visit wishbooknow.com to get your copy today. That's wishbooknow.com.
From NPR News Now at 4 a.m. today.
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Louise Schiavone. In Wednesday's now fatal shooting of one of two National Guardsmen in downtown Washington, D.C., the charge is now first-degree murder. Police say Ramanullah Lakhanwal, one of thousands of refugees from Afghanistan, had driven across country to launch the ambush attack. Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf and Specialist Sarah Beckstrom of the West Virginia National Guard were critically injured at the time. Beckstrom has now died. West Virginia Governor Patrick Morrisey said that Beckstrom was a treasure.
She was a courageous young woman, and she's only 20, and yet she was so dedicated to West Virginia and to our country. The most recent mission she volunteered for.
Governor Morrisey spoke to ABC affiliate WJLA-TV. The Federal Emergency Management Agency will have a new acting chief starting in December. NPR's Michael Copley reports the shakeup comes ahead of a report that's expected to recommend sweeping changes at the department that manages federal disaster response.
Karen Evans takes over as FEMA's acting administrator on Monday. She's been serving as the agency's chief of staff, according to a spokesperson for the Department of Homeland Security. Evans' predecessor, David Richardson, left his post in November after 6 months on the job. FEMA's been in turmoil this year, with President Trump saying the agency should be eliminated. Earlier this year, another acting FEMA head, Cameron Hamilton, was replaced after he said the agency should not be abolished. A FEMA review council that Trump appointed is scheduled to present recommendations for the agency's future at a public hearing in December. Michael Copley, NPR News.
Just before a second round of peace talks, Russia hit Kyiv with drone and missile attacks, according to officials in Kyiv. They say dozens were hurt and at least 2 people were killed. Ukraine says it is committed to negotiating a ceasefire based on the latest U.S. proposal. NPR's Eleanor Beardsley reports that Kyiv is under intense pressure from all sides.
First, there was the 28-point U.S.-Russian peace proposal that read like a Kremlin wish list. It's now been altered with European and Ukrainian input, and Ukraine has signed on. Russia has not. Media are now reporting Secretary of State Marco Rubio saying security guarantees for Ukraine would be negotiated after a peace deal is signed. Roman Kostenko is a Ukrainian member of parliament. We're fighting with the Russian Federation, but at the same time, we're trying to explain to the U.S. that Ukraine is a victim and Russia is the aggressor, he says. Kostenko says this is not just a war between Ukraine and Russia, it's a war against the civilized world. Eleanor Beardsley, NPR News, Kyiv.
In Hong Kong, the death toll is now 128 after firefighters located dozens more bodies in a massive apartment complex fire. Authorities say fire alarms did not sound. This is NPR. President Trump plans to pardon former Honduran President Juan Orlando Hernandez, a convicted drug trafficker also charged with weapons crimes, who was sentenced to 45 years in prison. Trump announced his intentions on social media, stating that, quote, according to many people I greatly respect, Hernandez was treated harshly and unfairly. Hernandez had served 2 terms as the leader of Honduras. One of Colorado's largest ski resorts delayed its slated Thanksgiving opening due to unusually mild weather. Colorado Public Radio's Stina Sieg reports that Beaver Creek Resort has not set a new date.
Beaver Creek, about 2 hours west of Denver, isn't the only ski area in the state to push back opening day. Powderhorn Mountain Resort, near the Utah border, was tentatively scheduled to open last week and is still closed. Forecaster Kate Abbott with the National Weather Service says the mountains are about 10 degrees warmer than average.
But we do start to see temperatures start to fall into the 20s and teens as the week progresses, which will certainly bring some relief to the snowmaking efforts.
Colorado's snowpack is well below normal. For NPR News, I'm Stina Sieg in Grand Junction, Colorado.
Ski trails are open in parts of New England where there was some early snow, and across the northern states, the National Weather Service is forecasting heavy lake-effect snow near the Great Lakes, with a major winter storm expected to deliver snow and high winds from the eastern plains to the western Great Lakes. I'm Louise Schiavone, NPR News, Washington.
From Fox News at 2:06 a.m. today.
Charged with murder, I'm Deborah Valentine, Fox News. A 29-year-old Afghan national being charged with murder after the shooting in Washington, D.C., killing 1 National Guard troop and leaving another in critical condition on Wednesday. This attack is being investigated as an act of terrorism. Fox's Christina Coleman has more from Los Angeles.
Lochinwall previously served in one of Afghanistan's elite counterterrorism units operated by the CIA with direct U.S. intelligence and military support. DHS says Lochinwall is one of the many Afghan nationals who were mass paroled into the U.S. under Operation Allies Welcome under the Biden administration in September of 2021 following the fall of Kabul. Authorities say Lochinwall settled in Bellingham, Washington, and lived there with his wife and 5 children. He was granted asylum back in April. Now questions are swirling as to whether he was properly vetted over the years.
Authorities are looking into the suspect's background as they work to find a motive in this case. U.S. Attorney in D.C., Jeanine Pirro, tells Fox.
What happened at that crime is unmistakable. It is a premeditated murder. There was an ambush with a gun toward people who didn't know it was coming. And that is the homicide, and that is the murder that we're looking at right now.
U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi telling Fox the Justice Department will seek the death penalty as the Trump administration moves to restrict legal immigration from more countries. French police have arrested a man believed to be the 4th member of the team that stole France's crown jewels from the Louvre Museum. The Paris prosecutor announced Friday that the entire gang is now thought to be in custody. The 39-year-old suspect has a criminal record. America's listening to Fox News.
What if your home security could stop a break-in before it begins? That's not science fiction. That's Simply Safe. And right now, their early access Black Friday sale is changing how we think about protection. Traditional systems wait until someone's already breaking in. Simply Safe's Active Guard outdoor protection, powered by AI, detects threats before they reach your door. Real security agents jump in instantly, confronting intruders, letting them know they're on camera. The police are on their way, and, if needed, setting off sirens and spotlights. It's proactive protection that stops crime before it starts. And here's the best part. No long-term contracts, no hidden fees, and you can cancel anytime. It's been named Best Home Security System by U.S. News & World Report for 5 years straight. And with a 60-day money-back guarantee, you can try it completely risk-free. So, if home security's been on your mind, this is your moment. Check out Simply Safe's Early Access Black Friday sale. Smarter protection starts here. Right now, listeners can take advantage on their biggest sale of the year with this exclusive early access to Simply Safe's Black Friday sale and save 60% on any new system by going to simplysafe.com/FNC. There will never be a better time to get real security for your home. Go to simplysafe.com/FNC. Stay protected and stay one step ahead with Simply Safe.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has announced the resignation of his powerful chief of staff, Andriy Yermak, who was also the country's lead negotiator in talks with the U.S. The resignation on Friday came hours after Yermak's residence was searched by anti-corruption investigators. Zelensky had resisted persistent pressure to replace him. President Trump announcing that the U.S. will begin stopping suspected Venezuelan drug traffickers by land. Fox's Alexandria Hoff in Washington has details.
The Trump administration had already built up a dozen warships in the Caribbean, thousands of troops. Since early September, there have been over 20 airstrikes on alleged drug boats. 82 individuals have been killed in those. And the president saying yesterday that because of those strikes, some former maritime drug traffickers have diverted to land routes, which is exactly where this confrontation is now set to head. On Monday, the U.S. designated the Venezuelan government, led by President Nicolas Maduro, a foreign terrorist organization. Under Maduro's leadership, Venezuela has fallen into economic despair. In a speech, Maduro urged his military to remain on high alert.
A recent CBS YouGov poll found 70% of Americans oppose military action in Venezuela. It's Black Friday. Analysts expect this holiday shopping season to be one of the busiest shopping seasons ever.
These people were outside in 30-degree weather for hours just to get those discounts. Some shoppers said that the chaos is all part of the tradition. Thanksgiving weekend is expected to break shopping records this year, starting off with a Black Friday. The National Retail Federation says nearly 187 million people plan to shop between Thanksgiving and Cyber Monday, which is up from last year. And the retail group says this is the time of the year when shoppers actually prefer to show up in person, just like the good old days.
Fox Business's Caroline Elliott. I'm Deborah Valentine. This is Fox.
Hey, Ryan Reynolds here. Wishing you a very happy half-off holiday, because right now Mint Mobile is offering you the gift of 50% off unlimited. To be clear, that's half price, not half the service. And Mint is still premium unlimited wireless for a great price. So that means a half day. Yeah? Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
From NPR Technology at 3:51 a.m. yesterday.
Tech companies are pouring hundreds of billions of dollars into AI data centers, and the big question is whether all that money represents a financial bubble. NPR's Bobby Allen has been watching. So, Bobby, bubble or no bubble?
That's the question, isn't it? And it really depends on whom you ask, right? So to tech executives and investors who, of course, have the most to gain by keeping this momentum going, they say no, absolutely not. No bubble to see here. But to financial analysts, economists, and other experts I've talked to, the situation is quite alarming. Let's just begin with the money, right? Amazon, Google, Meta, and Microsoft are set to spend $400 billion just this year on AI, and that's mostly on data centers. OpenAI says it wants to spend more than $1 trillion on data centers in the coming years. But the rub is that most AI chatbots, so ChatGPT and the rest, are not making money. One analysis from Menlo Ventures found that just 3% of customers are paying for AI, and OpenAI, the lead AI company, doesn't expect to be profitable for another 5 years. So some see this gusher of money as a huge overinvestment. Then there is the technology itself, which has basically plateaued, according to Paul Kudrowski. He's a venture capitalist who researches AI at MIT.
The technology is very useful, but the pace at which it's improving has more or less ground to a halt. So the notion that the revolution continues with the same drum music playing for the next 5 years is sadly mistaken.
Okay, then how do tech companies defend their spending?
Yeah, well, Silicon Valley boosters say AI is a once-in-a-generation technology. They compare it to the early internet or even the railway system. And they say all this infrastructure is needed to stay globally competitive, especially with China. White House AI czar and venture capitalist David Sachs wrote on X recently that slowing down AI spending would even risk a recession, writing, quote, "We can't afford to go backwards." But if you put a magnifying glass, on the details of some of this spending, there is a lot of reason to have doubt.
Ooh, so what sort of doubts? I mean, what about the spending is raising questions?
Yeah, mainly two things. The first is something known as circular spending. We're seeing a lot of this. One company will give another company billions of dollars to buy their own products, usually semiconductor chips. And this kind of investing has happened for a while, but we've never seen it happen at the scale of hundreds of billions of dollars. The fear is that those kinds of deals are basically artificially inflating what the demand actually is for AI. The second issue are what's known as special purpose vehicles. Big tech companies are teaming up with Wall Street giants to build these data centers, and the debt they are using is being kept off the balance sheets of the tech companies. Analyst Gil Luria of the D.A. Davidson investment firm told me the industry is now up to $100 billion of debt for building AI data centers.
At this point, if the market for artificial intelligence was even to just steady in its growth, then pretty quickly we will have overbuilt capacity, and that debt will be worthless, and those financial institutions will lose money.
Yeah, and Laura says it's a situation that wouldn't just be a problem for investors, but would hit all of us, right? The stock market could plunge, and that could pack a punch for pensions, retirement funds, the job market. Borrowing could get harder and more expensive. So if this does happen, the economic impacts would be widely felt.
That's NPR's Bobby Allen. Thanks a lot, Bobby.
Thank you, A.
From ESPN Radio at 11:42 a.m. yesterday.
ESPN Radio Sports Beat with Evan Cohen.
Ohio State and Michigan renew their rivalry on Saturday at noon Eastern Time. Number 1, 11-0 Ohio State against number 15, 9-2 Michigan. I get how much this game means for both fan bases. It is vitally important. Some have said that game is more of a national championship than the one that each of these two teams have won over the last 2 years. But let's be honest. With a 12-team playoff, while this game is important and it is a rivalry, it's not the be-all and end-all like it used to be. The juice, still there. As much as it used to be, no. Ohio State could lose this game and easily get a first-round bye in the college football playoff and win it all. Nobody would be surprised by that. And Michigan losing this game to Ohio State is more so important for a third loss than just the game for Ohio State. I get the fans may think otherwise. While this is still the best rivalry in the sport, it's not what it used to be. The Dallas Cowboys got a great Thanksgiving Day win against the Kansas City Chiefs on Thursday. They have now won 3 games in a row. And while they are not necessarily going to be a playoff team, sitting here at 6-5-1, maybe we should start to give the Dallas Cowboys credit on some of their decisions. Yes, you heard that right. On-field decisions in and around the team for the Cowboys. I thought Mike McCarthy's hiring was a good decision. He won 12 games 3 years in a row. Now they move on from Mike McCarthy and they go to Brian Schottenheimer, who has proven not to be better than McCarthy, but to also be a pretty good head coach. That's 2 in a row. Oh, and how about the Micah Parsons trade? Is there a chance that's just a win-win for both parties? He's been great, 12 sacks for the Green Bay Packers, but what the Cowboys have ultimately received in return in terms of draft value, Quinnen Williams, Kenny Clark, and more, been pretty good as well. Maybe we should pay attention to America's team. Some smart decisions going on in Dallas. With the ESPN Radio Sports Beat, I'm Evan Cohen.
From ABC News Update at 4:04 a.m. today.
ABC News, I'm Dave Packer in West Virginia.
Mourners gathering at a vigil for Sarah Beckstrom, the National Guard member who was shot near the White House on Wednesday. Webster County VFW Auxiliary President Melissa Hamrick says Beckstrom was proud to serve.
God had his arms around her. He was with her every step of the way.
U.S. Attorney for D.C. Janine Pirro said on Friday that there will be additional charges against the suspect, 29-year-old Ramanella Lakhanwal. President Trump says he'll permanently pause migration from what he called third world countries. He also threatened to revoke the citizenship of naturalized U.S. citizens. And the president Friday saying he's canceling any executive orders or other documents signed by former President Biden using an auto pen. Police in San Jose are investigating what they're calling an isolated shooting at Valley Fair Mall on Black Friday. They say there were 2 victims. This is ABC News.
Ford Blue Cruise hands-free highway driving takes the work out of being behind the wheel, allowing you to relax and reconnect, while also staying in control. Enjoy the drive in Blue Cruise-enabled vehicles like the F-150, Explorer, and Mustang Mach-E. Available feature on equipped vehicles. Terms apply. Does not replace safe driving. See Ford.com/Blue Cruise for more details.
From AP Radio News Updates at 8:53 p.m. yesterday.
AP News for Friday, November 28th. I'm Ben Thomas. The Trump administration says it's halting all asylum decisions in the wake of the shooting of 2 National Guard members in Washington, D.C. One of them, Specialist Sarah Beckstrom, has died, and the suspect is an Afghan national. Donna Warder has more reaction from President Trump.
In a blistering late-night post, President Trump said he'd permanently pause migration from poorer nations, terminate millions of admissions to the U.S. during the Biden administration, and denaturalize people who, quote, undermine domestic tranquility, end quote. The suspect worked with the CIA during the Afghanistan war. He immigrated as part of a program to resettle those who helped American troops. I'm Donna Warder.
The main stock indexes finished another winning week. The Dow gained nearly 1,500 points, or about 3.2%. The S&P added 3.7%, while the Nasdaq jumped 4.9%. But the hot stock, Nvidia, appears to have gotten too expensive. It lost 1.8% Friday and closed the month with a double-digit loss. Meantime, the holiday shopping season's well underway, and Lisa Dwyer has a Black Friday report.
With consumer confidence down this year, some malls, such as one near New Orleans, is popping the bubbly to lure in shoppers. Grandma and granddaughter duo Sandra and Lacey say,
the economy is bad, but we still gotta celebrate.
The annual sales event still brings more shoppers into stores than any day of the year. Dee Dee in Winston-Salem, North Carolina says it's the deals that attract her to the mall.
Definitely is. I think that's like a big reason as to why we're out here on Black Friday today, because I usually don't go shopping whenever there's not sales going on.
Back in New Orleans, that grandma-granddaughter duo have some advice.
Take your grandma to the mall and make memories with her, because it's the best thing to do. It's all about memories.
I'm Lisa Dwyer.
This is AP News. Week 13 for the NFL. 4 games already complete after the Bears beat the Eagles 24-15 Friday night. Gethin Coolbaugh looks ahead to Sunday.
Aaron Rodgers and his broken left wrist will start on Sunday when Pittsburgh hosts Buffalo.
I've had more days for the callus to form and more healing.
Rodgers sat out last week's loss to Chicago after injuring the wrist against Cincinnati on November 16th. He was a full participant in practice Friday. Elsewhere, QB CJ Stroud will return from a concussion for the Texans against the Colts. The Vikings will start QB Max Brosmer against the Seahawks. And off the field, Jets cornerback Chris Boyd said on Instagram that he was back in the hospital for health issues related to his recovery from being shot earlier this month in Manhattan. I'm Gethin Coolbaugh.
More news through the weekend at apnews.com. I'm Ben Thomas. Thanks for listening.
From Reuters TV, U.S. at 5:46 a.m. yesterday.
Hi, I'm Carmel Crimmins in Dublin. It's Friday, November 28th. Today, Trump says he's freezing migration from third world countries. The search for survivors in the Hong Kong fire ends with around 200 people still missing. Flooding killed scores in Southeast Asia. And Black Friday bargains beckon, but for browsers, not buyers. This is Reuters World News, bringing you everything you need to know from the front lines in 10 minutes, 7 days a week.
Oh, what fun! Holiday invites are arriving, and Nordstrom has your party fits covered. You'll find head-to-toe looks for every occasion, including styles under 100, dresses, sets, heels, and accessories from Bardot, Princess Polly, Dolce Vita, Naked Wardrobe, Coach, and more. Free styling help, free shipping, and quick order pickup make it easy. In stores or online, it's time to go shopping at Nordstrom.
President Donald Trump says the US will permanently pause migration from all, quote, third world countries. In a post on Truth Social, he also says he would end all federal benefits for non-citizens and deport any foreign national deemed a security risk or non-compatible with Western civilization. Trump's post follows the death of a National Guard member in an attack near the White House by an Afghan national.
I must unfortunately tell you that just seconds before I went on, right now, I heard that Sarah Beckstrom of West Virginia, one of the guardsmen that we're talking about, highly respected, young, magnificent person, started service in June of 2023, outstanding in every way. She's just passed away.
Her fellow guardsman, Andrew Wolf, was fighting for his life, Trump said. Trump blames the shooting on immigration vetting failures during the Biden era. The alleged gunman entered the US in 2021 under a resettlement program and was granted asylum this year. Trump didn't explain what he meant by third world countries or any specifics of how he would freeze migration. Authorities in Hong Kong are calling off the search for survivors after the city's worst fire in decades. Over 120 people are dead and around 200 are still missing after a blaze destroyed the Wong Fuk Court housing complex. The estate had been undergoing renovations and was wrapped in bamboo scaffolding and green mesh when the fire started and quickly spread. Residents from a housing estate next to the blaze have been sheltering in a shopping mall. 48-year-old Zhang says people she knows who lived in the burnt block only have the clothes they're wearing. It's Black Friday and retailers are bracing for record crowds, but not record splurges. I asked Helen Reid, our European retail correspondent, why some people are browsing, not buying.
This year, consumer confidence in the US is really quite low, and unemployment is near a 4-year high. So shoppers in general have really become a lot more cautious and selective about what they're buying. And the projections show that average spending is expected to fall this year compared to last year. And in general, I think people are really going to be looking for specific items and maybe opting out of things that they don't need as much.
Helen says retailers are trying to coax shoppers to buy.
So retail analysts say that brands are really trying to lure people in this season with kind of smaller items. So, for example, wallets instead of suitcases and customizable handbags and decorations like the Crocs Gibbets charms. And it's really about those smaller items rather than the big ticket items that people traditionally went out to buy on Black Friday.
Investors will be watching closely to see how Black Friday goes for retailers. Here's Nell McKenzie from our new Finance and Markets podcast, Morning Bid, to tell us what they're looking out for. Hey, Nell.
Hi, Carmel. Well, we've been digging into some of the economic data behind today's retail sales and talking about why this Black Friday really matters. We're also looking at the CME outage on Globex, which, of course, is where futures, gold futures, crude oil futures, and currencies and stock futures are traded. As well, we're looking at the Ukraine and Russia peace deal and what this means for global oil prices. If you want to hear anything more on these topics, please tune in for Reuters Morning Bid podcast.
Thanks, Nell. Make sure to follow Reuters Morning Bid so you never miss an episode, or ask your smart speaker to play it right after this. Ai wades through floodwaters in Hat Yai, Thailand to reach her stranded brother. He's been cut off for days after flooding hit vast swathes of Southeast Asia. Over 120 people are dead across the region after a week's worth of cyclone-fueled torrential rain. When I was finally able to enter the community, streets and homes are coated in thick mud. She holds back tears as she describes how some people were stuck on rooftops without food. NASA is cutting back the number of manned flights with aerospace giant Boeing. The company struggled with its Starliner program for years, and as NASA plans out its final trips to the International Space Station, Boeing's got work to do in order to be included on those crewed missions. Joey Roulette covers the business of space.
Boeing has had a lot of problems on the Starliner program for many years, particularly since 2019, and it really kind of culminated in 2024, last summer, when they had their first flight carrying astronauts. This was Butch Wilmore and Suni Williams. And what was supposed to be an 8-day mission extended into a 9-month mission because Boeing and NASA were trying to work together to investigate these unexpected issues. SpaceX has really kind of positioned itself as NASA's main ride to the International Space Station through 2030, which is when the ISS is supposed to retire. The next mission for Boeing is supposed to be in April 2026. That's when they're targeting. That's going to be uncrewed. And then the expectation is that the following 3 will be crewed. But that only depends on how they do on this next test. If Boeing fumbles again, then you can assume that maybe these other missions are just going to be without humans on board, or they might take another broader look at the contract and reassess Boeing's role in the program. It really comes down to how Boeing executes on this next uncrewed cargo mission. NASA still wants Boeing to remain in the program because they want a second provider as backup and as redundancy. But the case for that involving Boeing is getting weaker and weaker because Boeing can't seem to dig itself out of this development rut that it's been in for a very long time.
NASA still has Boeing in the rotation for some crewed missions, if it can work out the kinks. Long dark nights, little winter sun, rising unemployment, and the top of the World Happiness Report for the 8th year in a row. Welcome to Finland. The sauna and swimming culture help for sure, but Helsinki bureau chief Anna Kauranen says there's a certain Finnish peace of mind that keeps moods afloat, despite economic worries.
That is a combination of the generous Nordic welfare state that we have that sort of shields people from hardship during bad times. There's also a certain resilience among the Finnish population towards difficulties. We in Finland call that sisu, which means perseverance, or just the fact that usually Finns like to take things in their stride. Most recently, Finland has been heavily hit by the war in Ukraine. Finland is a neighbor to Russia, which used to be a big trading partner. So Finland has sort of become this dead end on the edge of Europe now. The Finnish economy is heavily dependent on exports. So all of this global economic turmoil and these trade wars and tariffs, they are really having a big impact on the Finnish economy.
And now a message from McAfee.
Your package couldn't be delivered.
You owe thousands in unpaid tolls.
You want a free gift.
If texts like these sound familiar, McAfee can help. McAfee automatically identifies text and email scams as well as AI-generated audio to help you stay safe. If they're faking it, they're not making it past us. Get award-winning scam detection today. McAfee.com/keepitreal. And for today's recommended read, Why Cats Came Inside. A new study has revealed a milestone in the history of cat domestication, dating the furry trailblazers' arrival into European homes in Roman times, off the back of maritime trade. The study is inconclusive, though, on why they're pawing at the door to get out again when you just let them in. There's more in the link in the pod description. For more on any of the stories from today, check out Reuters.com or the Reuters app. Don't forget to follow us on your favorite podcast player. If you're listening on a smart speaker, just ask for the latest news from Reuters 7 days a week. We'll be back tomorrow with our daily headline show.
From ABC News Nightline at 4 a.m. today.
Ford Blue Cruise hands-free highway driving takes the work out of being behind the wheel, allowing you to relax and reconnect, while also staying in control. Enjoy the drive in Blue Cruise-enabled vehicles like the F-150, Explorer, and Mustang Mach-E. Available feature on equipped vehicles. Terms apply. Does not replace safe driving. See Ford.com/BlueCruise for more details.
This is Nightline.
Tonight, fake Ozempic and illicit weight loss drugs flooding the internet. Some even saying it made them sick.
I seriously felt like I was about to die. At one point, I opened my eyes and I couldn't see. Everything was blurry.
As A-listers from Amy Schumer to Meghan Trainor and even Oprah go public with their use of GLP-1 meds, those without celebrity budgets are looking for bargains. With bad actors seemingly everywhere, how can you be sure you're getting the real thing?
How easy is it to get in contact with somebody who's either selling counterfeit or some sort of weight loss drug?
Very easy.
Plus, date my friend. What's old is new again.
The apps sometimes are just, for me, it's just too impersonal.
Some people trading dating apps for PowerPoint presentations.
Why a PowerPoint? There's something that's quirky about PowerPoints.
And pairing up to pitch their bestie to a group of strangers.
Why shop? I ask you, why not?
Did anyone find love? And all I wanted was you. The Jonas Brothers start the Christmas countdown with The Gift of Time. All I wanted was time.
From ABC News headquarters in New York, this is Nightline.
And now, a message from McAfee.
Your package couldn't be delivered.
You owe thousands in unpaid tolls!
You want a free gift?
If texts like these sound familiar, McAfee can help. McAfee automatically identifies text and email scams, as well as AI-generated audio, to help you stay safe. If they're faking it, they're not making it past us. Get award-winning scam detection today. McAfee.com/keepitreal.
We all love a legendary comeback, and Degree Original Cool Rush is back and better than ever. Cool Rush isn't just a scent, it's a movement, a fan favorite that delivers bold, fresh vibes and all-day sweat protection. Whether you have a man that spends hours in the gym, heads into the office early, or is just trying to stay fresh on a long day, Cool Rush has their back. Head to your local Walmart or Target and grab Degree Cool Rush, the fan favorite scent from the world's #1 antiperspirant brand.
Thanks for joining us. Tonight, fake Ozempic and illicit weight loss drugs. As more Americans come clean about their success with GLP-1 meds, bad actors are flooding the market with low-priced counterfeit products that look like the real thing, but are often anything but, putting unsuspecting users at risk. Here's another look.
I seriously felt like I was about to die.
Then I took some last night and I've been vomiting all morning. I'm in bed now, I'm in bits.
That's when the penny drops. Girl, what the hell? Why did you just buy fake Ozempic off the internet? Are you stupid?
Federal officials are asking consumers to be on the alert for counterfeit Ozempic.
The FDA issued an alert saying counterfeits have been found in the U.S. drug supply chain.
Counterfeit weight loss drugs wreaking havoc and forcing officials to sound the alarm.
Have you seen a surge in counterfeit weight loss drugs?
Absolutely. Patients are willing to do anything to get their hands on this product, and they're risking their lives.
It's the skinny shot that changed Hollywood. Celebs from all over using GLP-1 drugs like Ozempic and Mounjaro to lose weight. From legends like Oprah Winfrey to pop princesses like Meghan Trainor. But for those without celeb salaries, the sometimes uphill battle to get name-brand GLP-1 medications can be daunting.
These prices are absolutely outrageous.
Your GLP-1 medications could be free, or they could be like $900.
And some bad actors are pouncing on that demand, creating a potentially dangerous black market of counterfeits and illicit drugs that are scamming buyers and even making some people sick.
Having seizures, frothing at the mouth, almost dying.
We're going inside the illicit world of counterfeit GLP-1s. A simple search turns out endless alleged sellers. I tried it out myself.
This one says Ozempic's for sale. These are a lot of these online GLP-1 sales.
A few key phrases unlocks a dangerous dark web, allegedly peddling Fozempic and other fake weight loss drugs.
When you spell it correctly, nothing comes up. But when you misspell it, a lot of other sites come up. It looks like a wink-wink way that counterfeit GLP sellers are going around restrictions.
Eric Feinberg works for the nonprofit Coalition for a Safer Web.
How do you spot a counterfeit?
Because number one, when you see in the profile that it basically says no RX.
Why is that a red flag?
It's a red flag because you cannot get a prescription drug unless you have a prescription. When the minute you see no prescription needed, and also the payment process is like, Bitcoin, Zeal, PayPal. No, it can't be. And a lot of this is coming too out of country.
So I was told to take 2.5. So I was taking 2.5 for the first 3 times, and on the 4th time, I took actually 2, not 2.5. So I actually took less, and it's still done what it did. Wrong, I knew straight away. I felt sick. I was curled up in a ball. I was vomiting.
Ashleen Horgan-Wallace says she believes she took counterfeit Ozempic, never imagining how these syringes could harm her as much as she says they did.
I didn't do too much research. I should have really done more. I just took word of mouth from my friends.
The 46-year-old Big Brother UK star has made a name for herself with her flirtatiousness.
I was told that I'm very good at manipulating people to do what I want.
And her ferocious outbursts.
You're so f***ing small, that's why you're so angry with life.
In the last few years, Ashleen says her weight ballooned in the midst of what she says was one of the lowest points of her life.
I started to actually, as I say, eat my feelings. I was just sad, depressed, and food was the only tonic that I could find. And I needed a quick fix. I wanted a quick fix.
She says she never tried to get a prescription in the UK, where the National Health Service is largely funded by taxpayers.
I knew for a fact that I couldn't get Ozempic or any type of weight loss drugs because I wasn't morbidly obese, and they would say to me, you're not allowed it, you don't need it, go to the gym, change your diet. So I didn't want to do that, so I went to the black market. My friend found a website on the dark web, and we WhatsApped this company and started to order our Ozempic, or what we thought was Ozempic.
She says she paid £300, about $400, for 4 syringes, no prescription necessary.
It was sent through normal post, through the mailman. I opened the box and it was a needle in a package, and it said Ozempic on the front of the box. To be honest, the first few injections were totally fine. My appetite was just gone. Grab some fat and just literally just inject it.
Ashleen says what she thought was Ozempic didn't even come in a pen like the drug should.
I've got my Diarrhea here. I can't even, I take one sip and I'm vomiting it out.
That's Ashleen, so sick that she could only send voice memos to her online supplier.
I'm sweating all over. That is weird as babe, trust me.
At one point, I opened my eyes and I couldn't see. Everything was blurry.
Her remaining syringes still in her fridge as a cautionary reminder.
You just don't know what you're getting. It can be water, it can be alcohol, it can be insulin, and that's obviously really dangerous. You can get infections, you can get the low blood sugars, a whole host of issues.
Ashleen says she never went to the authorities or even sought medical help because she was too embarrassed. And experts say she's far from the only one.
the number of victims likely far underreported.
This could be, somebody you know. This could be a parent, a sibling, a friend of yours.
That danger is what keeps Nicole Johnson up at night. She's a special agent at the Department of Homeland Security.
If a consumer has no other choice, they have to buy their prescriptions online, always verify before you buy. Go to safe.pharmacy or Legit Scripts and check that online pharmacy to see if they're legitimate or not.
In less than 2 years, the FDA has seized thousands of units of counterfeit Ozempic that made its way into the legal American supply chain. The agency advising everyone from doctors to retail pharmacies to consumers to check the numbers on their Ozempic boxes and showing just how anyone could be fooled by the fake needle's label compared to the real one.
How big a health risk is that?
I can't speak to the FDA's seizure, but the legitimate supply chain is still your safest place to buy pharmaceuticals.
And yet that's a pretty big security breach of a legitimate supply chain.
Correct.
The FDA declined ABC News' request for an interview and in a statement said it is actively working to protect consumers from counterfeit GLP-1 medications through a multifaceted approach that includes public awareness, enforcement actions, and collaboration with other agencies. When illicit drugs are shipped to the U.S., they have to go through massive ports like this one in Cincinnati.
We conduct all of the exams on the shipments that we hold for inspection in this area right here.
Port Director Eric Zizelman oversees the seizures made here. Anything from fentanyl to counterfeit watches to this box of marijuana.
The more that we intercept shipments, the more trends tend to change. The bad guys have all the time in the world to sit around and think about how they're going to beat us. So we have to stay on top of all the intelligence that is out there.
This table is full of illegal GLP-1s, seized based on suspicious packaging.
We got one box, one Ozempic pen here, a lot of Spanish writing on it. So something that's going to come into the U.S. as a legitimate product is not going to be in Spanish. It has to be in English. Probably meant for a South American, Central American market.
Once a drug leaves its intended route, really all bets are off. You cannot vouch for the quality of that drug. How do you verify the storage conditions that drug was held in?
Catherine Eban reports on counterfeit drugs and other medical schemes for Vanity Fair.
There are really no global treaties related to pharmaceutical safety and quality. It can be sort of playing whack-a-mole to try to track these counterfeits as they pop up in different countries.
Put cow fat on my face this morning.
Cow fat?
Yeah.
Where did you get that?
From Amazon. But at least I didn't get it from the black market, eh?
In London, Ashleen is warning others to be wiser than she was.
When I think back, how could I have thought that this was going to be the real stuff? It's just stupid, mind-bogglingly stupid. I can't believe I did it.
She says she'll probably never try a weight loss drug again, counterfeit or not, but admits some things are hard to let go.
When I first got over the sickness and realised I wasn't going to die, it completely changed my attitude on weight. I was like, so what if I'm fat? I'm alive, who cares? But a few months on, I do care again. I'm so shallow.
And now a look ahead to Monday's show. The Massachusetts man on trial for murdering his wife and the mother of their child caught throwing away DNA evidence, buying hundreds of dollars in cleaning supplies, and Googling how to dispose of a body on their son's iPad. And when we come back, pitch and pair dating, where your wingman goes wide after the break.
You know how to make a great meal. And when it comes to the mess, Palmolive knows how to handle it. Palmolive Ultra removes up to 2.5 times the grease versus Dawn Non-Concentrated. Palmolive's most powerful formula instantly cuts grease, leaving you with sparkling clean dishes. Palmolive Ultra. Click or tap the banner to shop now or visit palmolive.com.
What if thousands of deals were waiting for you? Black Friday is here at Best Buy, where you'll find new doorbusters and big savings. But hurry, Black Friday deals end Saturday, November 29th. Shop now at bestbuy.com. Best Buy, imagine that.
And welcome back. Though dating apps are everywhere and it seems like everyone's on them, some singles say there is no substitute for the face-to-face of it all. But a new modern take puts your wingman in the spotlight as he or she pitches you to the crowd. Here's Nightline's Ashin Singh with another look.
Love is an inexact science. The sound of a balloon popping on Pop the Balloon Live is unmistakable rejection.
That's a deal breaker for you?
Deal breaker for me, babe. I'm so sorry.
And it's better luck next time for guys and girls who leave Love Island single.
Unfortunately, you have been dumped from the island.
Dating apps are still very popular. 3 in 10 U.S. adults say they've used a dating site or app. But some say meeting matches at an in-person singles event is an alluring alternative.
If you're not at Crush Globe, where are you at?
I was looking for something where I can go with my friends instead of going by myself to some type of in-person event, and there wasn't really anything like that.
In the rough and tumble dating scene, Pitch and Pair is the new singles event that centers around a pair of friends. One makes a sales pitch to a room full of potential admirers about why they should date their friend.
She is probably the smartest person I've ever met in my entire life.
After all the presentations, the audience gets to mingle and meet the people who were pitched. Joe Teblum, a 33-year-old marketing professional, created Pitch and Pair.
The first one was definitely a maybe we should try something else. It was basically my friends pitching me at a bar to a few people.
You got pitched?
I got pitched.
Okay, how'd that go?
Well, there was nobody really at the bar. So that was kind of the start of it, and now we're selling out top NYC venues. It's really like a wingman show, where it's like your friends are there to help you find a date.
The apps sometimes are just, for me, it's just too impersonal.
Sham Subramanian says dating in the Big Apple can be discouraging.
Most of the time when you're talking to people in New York who are like chasing something.
Sure.
So the dating is sort of like, a sidebar, like sort of like on the back burner. So everybody's just caught up doing their own thing.
And that's yourself included, right?
Yeah, of course.
You're focused on your comedy career.
Of course.
So the 35-year-old decided to take a chance on a Pitch and Pair event.
Are you excited for tomorrow night?
It's tomorrow. Oh, yeah.
He's enlisted his best friend, John Tilson, as his wingman. Both are comedians in the city, and the two have a podcast together.
It literally popped up on his Instagram, and he's like, look at this. Because all I could I'm a big Seinfeld fan, so all I could think about was that scene when Kramer is getting auctioned off. I'm like, yeah, let's do this.
I know him too well.
Now, John has to make a PowerPoint detailing Sham's best traits.
Thus far, I've got the lovable, laughable, and eminently entertaining individual.
There's something that's quirky about PowerPoints that amplifies everything that someone does in a pitch.
And Sham has not seen any of this yet, so I plan to show him this tonight.
I think there's a 75% chance I'll meet the woman of my dreams at Pitch and Pair.
Oh, wow.
We have John and Sham!
With 200 people in the audience, John and Sham take the stage. Their one-liners get tons of applause.
Why Sham? I ask you, why not? You're the meat. Give it a little spin.
After that is a Q&A.
Does anyone have a question for Sham? Yes. How old are you?
That's none of your business.
After 15 presentations, the room empties out. People head to the bar, where anyone who wants to know more about someone who was pitched can talk to them one-on-one.
Getting lines of people to try to talk to someone, it just doesn't happen in the real world.
Sham has found success at Pitch and Pair.
Yeah.
He recognized Candace from the comedy scene in Boston and asked her out.
She actually moved to New York a couple months before I did, and we've sort of reconnected. It's been cool. The After Bar. How do you like the place? She said it's fabulous.
You're actually helping people find, in some cases, love.
Yeah.
What's that like for you?
The fact that it turned into actual people like getting into relationships and meeting people, like that's just a whole nother level of like satisfaction.
Our thanks to Ashin. When we come back, as the countdown to Christmas begins, the Jonas Brothers drop Time, a musical wish list of sorts. And finally tonight, the Christmas season is here, and so's a new Joe Bro video. It's our nightlife. The Jonas Brothers dropping Time, a feel-good holiday fest. With scenes from a very Jonas Christmas movie showcasing the season's family of it all. And the warmth of the season. A very Jonas Christmas movie is streaming now on Disney Plus and Hulu. 'Tis the season. That's Nightline. You can watch all of our full episodes on Disney Plus and on Hulu. We'll see you right back here same time Monday. Thanks for staying up with us. Good night, America. Have a great weekend.
We are officially heading into Thanksgiving season, which back in the day when we were growing up was a time to take pride in our American history. But nowadays, what kids are being taught is very different. That's why I love America's History by Tuttle Twins. Grab the Family Starter Pack because it covers those pilgrims who came over here in a way that's not going to poison your children's minds and will actually make them thankful for this wonderful gift that we have been given. Pick up America's History and the whole starter pack at TuttleTwins.com.
From ABC World News tonight at 9:45 p.m. last Thursday.
This episode is brought to you by Blink. Blink Friday starts now with up to 65% off Blink Smart Security. Check on your pets all season long with new Blink Mini 2K Plus cameras. See your gifts arrive in head-to-toe view with Blink Video Doorbell. Ready to use right out of the box. Just unwrap Blink and go. From pet parents to jet setters to busy families, Blink Friday deals have your holidays covered. Shop now at Amazon.com/Blink.
David Muir, ABC's World News Tonight, America's most watched newscast. Now streaming same day with all the breaking news of the day on Disney Plus. Most watched, most trusted. Now on Disney Plus every night.
Tonight, breaking news as we come on the air in the West. President Trump just announcing that one of the two National Guard members shot near the White House has died. Plus, the major back-to-back storms just as millions head home after Thanksgiving. First, that tragic news just coming in. President Trump says National Guard Specialist Sarah Beckstrom has died, gunned down near the White House. Sergeant Andrew Wolf fighting for his life tonight. Authorities are calling it an ambush attack. New details tonight on the suspected shooter, now identified as 29-year-old Afghan national. Sources say he worked with a CIA-backed paramilitary group helping the Americans during the war in Afghanistan. Authorities now say he drove cross-country from Washington state to carry out the shooting, armed with a .357 revolver. Tonight, he faces several charges.
You picked the wrong target, the wrong city, and the wrong country.
What we're learning about the investigation, and tonight the Trump administration halting all immigration from Afghanistan in the wake of the shooting. Our team standing by with new reporting. Also developing, we're tracking two major storms just as millions get ready to head home from the busy Thanksgiving holiday. Heavy lake effect snow piling up across the Great Lakes. Travel chaos tonight from the Dakotas to Michigan to New York. Hundreds of crashes reported in Minnesota. And now an even bigger cross-country storm is brewing. Our weather team times it all out. The horrific images just coming in. A state lawmaker killed in a violent crash in Colorado. What we've just learned. Also tonight, a powerful magnitude 6 earthquake striking Alaska with reports of violent shaking. Overseas tonight, the first American pope touching down in Turkey on the first foreign trip of his papacy. Pope Leo's message of peace in the Middle East. We're just hours away from Black Friday. Some retailers are offering deep discounts as shoppers say they're cutting back on spending. And America strong on this Thanksgiving. After a raging fire, the senior citizens expressing their gratitude to the first responders who saved their lives.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us on this Thanksgiving. I'm Lindsay Davis in for David. We begin tonight with breaking news. President Trump just announcing the death of one of the National Guard members shot near the White House. Army Specialist Sarah Beckstrom was just 20 years old. 24-year-old Air Force Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf is in critical condition. Authorities say the 29-year-old suspect, an Afghan national, drove from Washington state and targeted the Guard members. Multiple law enforcement agencies, including the FBI and ATF, ATF are investigating this as a possible act of terrorism. Sources say the suspect, seen here being loaded into an ambulance, worked with a CIA-backed paramilitary group during the war in Afghanistan. He immigrated to the U.S. in 2021. The suspect is now facing death penalty charges. Wolf's family is asking for prayers. ABC's Jay O'Brien leads us off.
Tonight, these chilling images obtained by the Wall Street Journal capturing the moments a gunman, who officials say drove across the country from his home in Washington state, ambushed 2 National Guardsmen in the heart of the nation's capital. 29-year-old Ramanullah Lakanwal, an Afghan national now identified as the lone suspect.
You picked the wrong target, the wrong city, and the wrong country, and you will be sorry for the violence and the evil that you perpetrated in our nation's capital.
Officials say the gunman was armed with a .357 revolver, ambushing the 2 guardsmen outside a busy metro stop.
This pane of glass was shattered in the gunfire. Glass was everywhere here, and as those shots rang out, other guardsmen in the area rushed to this scene, and one of them, officials say, shooting and wounding the suspect. That alleged gunman then restrained and loaded into an ambulance. Those 2 guardsmen, 24-year-old Air Force Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf and 20-year-old Army Specialist Sarah Beckstrom, members of the West Virginia National Guard, quickly rushed to the hospital for surgery. And late today, in a call with members of the military, President Trump announcing that Specialist Sarah Beckstrom had died.
She's just passed away. She's no longer with us.
Beckstrom's father posting on Facebook saying, "My baby girl has passed to glory." The White House confirming President Trump has spoken with the family. The family of Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf telling the New York Times they are asking for prayers.
Their families' lives are all changed forever because one person decided to do this horrific and evil thing.
The governor of West Virginia rushing to D.C. to visit the guardsmen and their families, describing the scene at the hospital.
When you saw the number of people outside of these rooms, people are praying for the families just to give them strength.
And tonight, the investigation intensifying. Officials saying the suspect had been living with his wife and 5 children in Bellingham, Washington. The FBI executing searches at his home, investigating this as a possible act of terrorism.
We will not stop until we interview anyone and everyone associated with the subject, the house, and every piece of his life.
Sources familiar with the investigation tell ABC News Lakanwal was a highly trained and trusted member of an elite Afghan counterterrorism force called the Zero Units, partnering with U.S. Special Forces and the CIA during the war in Afghanistan. He came to the U.S. in 2021 under a Biden-era program evacuating Afghan refugees during the chaotic withdrawal of U.S. forces. Sources tell ABC News the suspect was formally granted asylum this April under the Trump administration.
And Lindsay, we're learning another tragic detail tonight. Those 2 guardsmen shot here at this metro station, Staff Sergeant Wolf and Specialist Beckstrom, were given the option to end their deployment early as of last week. And instead, they, along with more than 150 of their comrades, volunteered to extend their deployment, their service here in Washington, D.C., until the end of the year. Lindsay.
A testament to their sense of duty, Jay. Thank you.
And now a message from McAfee.
Your package couldn't be delivered.
You owe thousands in unpaid tolls.
You want a free gift. If texts like these sound familiar, McAfee can help. McAfee automatically identifies text and email scams as well as AI-generated audio to help you stay safe. If they're faking it, they're not making it past us. Get award-winning scam detection today. McAfee.com/keepitreal.
I'm 32, juggling family, working full-time, and earning a bachelor's degree. At University of Phoenix, I earn career-relevant skills with every 5-week course. Skills I can use now, not just after graduation.
Earn skills in weeks, not years. Visit phoenix.edu.
In response to that shooting, President Trump is ordering a review of all Afghan nationals in the U.S. and halting the processing of immigration applications from Afghanistan. But others are cautioning against demonizing Afghan nationals in this country. Here's ABC senior White House correspondent Selena Wang.
Tonight, in the wake of the shooting of 2 National Guard members, the Trump administration halting all immigration from Afghanistan.
We must now re-examine every single alien who has entered our country from Afghanistan under Biden.
The U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Service announcing it stopped all Afghan immigration applications pending further review of security and vetting protocols. According to authorities, the suspect was one of 76,000 Afghan refugees settled in the U.S. in 2021 after the chaotic withdrawal from Afghanistan. Nearly 3,300 of them worked for the U.S. government and were granted special immigrant visas. FBI Director Kash Patel blaming the Biden administration.
And the prior administration made the decision to allow thousands of people into this country without doing a single piece of background checking or vetting.
But law enforcement officials tell ABC News those evacuees were extensively vetted, and the suspect was granted asylum this past April under the Trump administration. Just months before, Patel pledged to investigate Afghan evacuees in the U.S. for national security concerns.
As far as the Afghan refugees and evacuees, as during my tenure, we are going through the databases to make sure that no known or suspected terrorists enter this country to harm our nation.
And Lindsay, President Trump is speaking to service members tonight as part of the presidential Thanksgiving tradition. This comes as he's ordered the Pentagon to deploy an additional 500 National Guard troops to Washington, D.C. The president pledging the U.S. will never back down. Lindsay?
Selena, thank you. We turn now to the weather and major back-to-back storm threats. A new cross-country storm moves in with snow and heavy rain just as millions of Americans head home from their holiday travels. The lake-effect storm system slammed into Buffalo, New York, causing blizzard-like conditions, making for hazardous driving conditions. Here's ABC's Morgan Norwood.
Tonight, intense lake-effect snow causing treacherous Thanksgiving travel conditions as that massive storm turns deadly. Blinding snow blasting drivers along the eastern shore of Lake Michigan. The storm kicking up these massive waves. Those on the road today here in Springville, New York, outside Buffalo, facing blizzard-like conditions. This tree crushing a car. Plow drivers working overtime, trying to keep up. More than a foot of snow and powerful winds expected to slam the region.
I like it if I didn't have to shovel it.
In Minnesota, more than 400 crashes reported in the past 24 hours. 600 vehicles skidding off the roads, tractor trailers piling up. Tragically, police say one man was killed by a falling tree while clearing snow outside his home near Duluth. And tonight, millions bracing for an even bigger storm, threatening to upend the trip back home after Thanksgiving. Major airlines, including United and American, already offering waivers for travelers through Chicago, which could get hit with more than 6 inches of snow. TSA expecting to screen more than 3 million passengers nationwide on Sunday alone. Flyers are already frustrated.
The trip was a little hectic. It was delayed, and then there was turbulence. It was stressful.
And Lindsay, ahead of that next cross-country storm, experts urging passengers to download their airline's app. And if your flight is disrupted, call and get in line. Lindsay?
May be necessary to do both. All right, Morgan, thank you. Let's get right to meteorologist Jeff Smith from our New York station, WABC. Jeff, sounds like round 2 is on the way. Tell us about this next cross-country storm.
Yeah, we're tracking that cross-country storm, but during the next 24 hours, it's all about lake-effect snow over the eastern Great Lakes, 6 to 12 inches. We're talking places like Cleveland up to Erie, up to Jamestown, just south of Buffalo, between Syracuse and Watertown. Could be whiteout conditions right through the day tomorrow. No big surprise, lake-effect snow warnings in those areas. And look, already hoisted ahead of that big cross-country storm, we have the winter storm watches and warnings from parts of the Dakotas through Iowa, through portions of the Midwest, including Chicago, all the way to Indianapolis. Let's time it out for you. During the day tomorrow, snow moving from Montana into the Dakotas, all the way into parts of Iowa. The most high impact day in terms of winter weather by far will be Saturday. We're talking major hubs, Minneapolis, Chicago, Omaha, all the way down to St. Louis, receiving heavy snowfall, rainfall off to the south. And when I say heavy snow, I'm talking 6 to 12 inches from Des Moines to Chicago down to St. Louis, all the way east to Indianapolis. That snowfall becoming heavy in the Ohio Valley into Saturday night and moving on to the East Coast on Sunday. But by then it's rainfall and it's a weakening storm system as it approaches the I-95 corridor. Lindsay?
And we know you'll be tracking it for us, Jeff. Thank you. Now to the horrific high-rise inferno in Hong Kong. New drone footage shows the scorched buildings The number of dead now at 94, more than 70 others injured. Hong Kong's chief executive says crews have lost contact with nearly 300 people. 3 construction executives arrested on suspicion of manslaughter in connection with alleged flammable materials. Now to Russian President Vladimir Putin breaking his silence on the Ukraine peace plan and doubling down on his hardline demands to end the war. Putin also questioning Ukrainian President Zelensky's legitimacy. ABC's chief foreign correspondent Ian Pannell reports from Ukraine tonight. Ian?
Yeah, Lindsay, in a strident and often uncompromising speech, Vladimir Putin saying it's pointless to sign any documents with President Zelensky, claiming he lacks legitimacy. The Russian leader making a series of hardline statements today that are the most extensive comments he's made on the new US peace effort, ruling out a ceasefire unless Ukrainian troops withdraw, claiming his troops are doing well. Remember, the US acting as mediator between the two sides, with delegations expected in Moscow and Kyiv to start talks after Thanksgiving, with pressure from President Trump for a peace deal. Lindsay?
Ian, thank you. Next tonight, Pope Leo's first foreign trip with a message of peace and unity. Leo kicking off the 6-day journey in Turkey and Lebanon. The Chicago native offered Thanksgiving greetings to Americans. ABC's Britt Clennett is traveling with the pontiff.
Tonight, Pope Leo landing in Istanbul as part of his 6-day visit to the Middle East, the maiden trip of his papacy. There he is, the first American Pope on his first foreign trip. Pope Leo bringing a message of peace and hope to this conflict-ridden region. Earlier in the capital of Ankara, the Pope meeting with Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, a key figure in the talks to end the Ukraine-Russia war. Pope Leo calling on everyone to put their differences aside for the sake of world peace.
We are now experiencing a phase marked by heightened level of conflict on the global level. We must in no way give in to this. The future of humanity is at stake.
Before landing in Turkey, the pontiff speaking to reporters on the plane, noting Thanksgiving in the U.S.
To the Americans here, happy Thanksgiving. It's a wonderful day to celebrate.
Several reporters presenting him with pies. Back in Istanbul, Taylor Tankson visiting from Detroit, telling me she's proud of a pope from Chicago spreading compassion far and wide.
I think to keep everything stable, whether people are Christian or not, I think the Pope is just really leaning into humanity, right? Do the right thing. We want peace. We want people to be safe.
Lindsay, after Turkey, the Pope will then head to Lebanon on Sunday. Despite security concerns there, Pope Leo is determined to go to spread his message of peace. Lindsay?
Britt, thank you. Back here in the U.S., Black Friday is just hours away. It marks the traditional start of the holiday shopping season. And retailers are offering plenty of deep discounts, but will it be enough to entice budget-conscious shoppers? Here's ABC's Melissa Dunn.
Tonight, as inflation continues to squeeze household budgets, many shoppers are adjusting their expectations for this year's Black Friday deals.
I feel like I just really have to save, and now with, everything going up in prices in gas and groceries, it's just something that, we have to take a cut in.
Retailers are rolling out deep discounts in an effort to entice cautious shoppers. Walmart, Target, and Amazon are dropping the PlayStation 5 Slim to $374, down from $449.
That tightening of the budget we really see coming from concerns about rising prices.
While consumers remain concerned, online spending is still higher as shoppers have already spent $79.7 billion. That's up more than 7% from last year.
Hopefully find some good deals.
While many retailers are making significant cuts to their prices, others are focusing on flexible payment options, offering buy now, pay later plans to ease the financial burden for those still uncertain about their holiday spending.
Lindsay, it's not just Black Friday, but also Cyber Monday, which is the biggest shopping day of the year. And experts say come Monday, buy now, pay later will peak. Lindsay?
Melissa, thank you. Now to Europe and a helping hand for Army soldiers spending the holiday overseas. U.S. Ambassador to NATO Matthew Whitaker helped dish out Thanksgiving dinners to troops in Lithuania. Whitaker thanked the troops for their bravery, courage, and sacrifices. When we come back, word just coming in reports an American has been killed in the Caribbean. What we're learning, the powerful earthquake striking Alaska this Thanksgiving. New video shows the shaking. Tragedy on a Colorado highway involving a longtime state lawmaker, and in Michigan saying thanks after a fiery disaster.
Minute Maid Zero Sugar tastes so amazing, you've just got to say great taste and zero sugar, and Minute Maid Zero Sugar sells itself. Great taste, zero sugar sells itself.
You know how to make a great meal. And when it comes to the mess, Palmolive knows how to handle it. Palmolive Ultra removes up to 2.5 times the grease versus Dawn Non-Concentrated. Palmolive's most powerful formula instantly cuts grease, leaving you with sparkling clean dishes. Palmolive Ultra. Click or tap the banner to shop now or visit palmolive.com.
Next tonight, a tragic crash leaves a lawmaker dead. This was the scene just south of Denver. Colorado police say Democratic State Senator Faith Winter died in last night's multi-car accident on Interstate 25. Authorities say 3 other people were hurt in the crash. Winter was 45 years old. And a powerful jolt in Alaska. 6.0 magnitude earthquake rattled the state this morning, shaking homes like this one in Anchorage. The quake was centered about 30 miles from that city. No major damage or injuries were reported, but it did bring a scare, like this child watching TV when his family's living room started shaking. When we come back, a man from Colorado found dead in the Caribbean, a murder investigation now underway. To the index now, the death of an American in the Caribbean. A murder investigation is underway in Trinidad and Tobago. According to police, a suspect is under arrest in the killing of Christopher Brown. The Colorado man was found stabbed to death in a seaside village in Tobago last night. Investigators say he just left a group of friends at a restaurant to buy marijuana. When we come back, how a terrifying night led to a very happy Thanksgiving reunion.
What if thousands of deals were waiting for you? Black Friday is here at Best Buy, where you'll find new doorbusters and big savings. But hurry, Black Friday deals end Saturday, November 29th. Shop now at bestbuy.com. Best Buy, imagine that.
Hola, Sol de Janeiro here. This holiday season, the world is your stage with new limited edition gift sets packed with craveable body care and irresistible perfume mists that bring out the brightest version of you and everyone on your list. Our award-winning, visibly firming Brazilian Boom Boom Cream and cult favorite fragrances bring a little mist, a little mingle, and endless delight to the senses. Holiday's hottest gifts are waiting for you at soldejaneiro.com.
Finally tonight, America Strong, young and old together, counting their blessings after a scary initial encounter. It was a night that could have easily ended in tragedy. A massive fire swallowing the senior living center in Southgate, Michigan, just outside Detroit, as the residents slept, unaware of the danger curling beneath their doors. First responders poured into the building, their voices steady, their steps sure, carrying some and reassuring others.
Don't be scared, we got you.
Refusing to leave until all 81 residents were accounted for.
I've never been that scared in my life.
Tonight, that fire is long extinguished, but the bond between these seniors and their rescuers burns brighter than ever.
I don't want to just shake your hand.
Lingering hugs, hands held a bit tighter, and smiles carrying the weight of all they survived. In the spirit of Thanksgiving, they recently reunited with the heroes who saved their lives.
Thank you for breaking down my door.
Honoring the first responders at a luncheon filled with gratitude, an outcome made of training, timing, and the simple, powerful choice to put others first.
You never talk to the family afterwards, so it's kind of, different just to see the happiness on people's faces.
Thank God we're alive. Yeah. That's all that matters.
Those same seniors together again, this time with hearts full of gratitude instead of fear.
It's great to see the appreciation and the community to come together like this.
A Thanksgiving reminder of bravery answered and blessings counted.
I've been wanting to do this since the day it happened because they saved our life.
So much gratitude. Thank you for watching. I'm Lindsay Davis. Happy Thanksgiving. Good night.
Thank you for making World News Tonight with David Muir, America's most watched newscast.
Hey, Ryan Reynolds here, wishing you a very happy half-off holiday, because right now Mint Mobile is offering you the gift of 50% off unlimited. To be clear, that's half price, not half the service. And Mint is still premium unlimited wireless for a great price. So that means a half day. Yeah? Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch. switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
From New York Times, The Daily at 4:45 a.m. last Thursday.
5 minutes is all it takes to add the iconic flavor of McCormick turkey gravy to Thanksgiving dinner. That's 5 minutes you could spend reading the Wi-Fi password off the router for your nephew.
Okay, you ready? $5.9-$B#. Oh, sorry. Hashtag.
When you share Thanksgiving with family, every minute counts. So take 5 to bring McCormick's classic savory turkey gravy to your table. Learn more and find great last-minute recipes at mccormick.com/holiday.
Do you just want me to run through the different sounds?
Please.
Okay. So yeah, a simple quack is just, and then a lot of times this morning to grab those ducks' attention, I was doing 5 to 7 quacks in a row. So yeah, it's just like music.
You're one with the duck.
I try to be. I try my best.
When most of us sit down today for Thanksgiving dinner, if we're being honest, we're not really thinking all that hard about where the food on the table actually came from. It came from the grocery store. And to the degree that we did think about where it came from, maybe we shopped the local free-range organic aisle. Still, it came from the supermarket. But for Steven Rinella, the question of where his food comes from is almost a religion. Rinella is a lifelong hunter, perhaps the country's most famous hunter, who shares his passion for eating what he catches through a growing media empire that includes a Netflix show and a podcast, both called Meat Eater.
If you're just by yourself and you kill a moose in September, how long can one guy live off that moose?
If that's all you're eating, probably 3 months.
Mm-hmm. He's also written more than a dozen books, ranging from a history of the American buffalo to a series of cookbooks that explain things like how to gut a caribou or make a wild goose pastrami. But what really defines Rinella's work is an argument, and an argument that some might find kind of counterintuitive, that killing animals can be part of loving nature, that reverence for the natural world is intimately bound up in the act of hunting. And so I was curious, as somebody who relies exclusively on the grocery store, what would it be like to visit Rinella and go on a hunt with him and then eat what we kill? From the New York Times, I'm Michael Barbaro. This is The Daily. Today, my hunt with Steven Rinella. It's Thursday, November 27th, Thanksgiving Day. Steve, Michael Barbaro.
Michael, nice to meet you.
Tremendous honor.
Come on this way.
We meet Rinella at the Meat Eater headquarters in Bozeman, Montana.
Yeah, I'll show you around a little bit.
He gives us a little tour.
We have a kitchen space.
We see his test kitchen. Oh, that's a giant meat grinder. Wow. His industrial-sized meat freezer.
This is like Giannis's elk bones.
On the way
Should we go to the studio?
into his podcast studio, which I would describe the decor of as extremely carnivorous.
This is a beaver.
Behind you.
Yeah, this is like what the whole country was built on. I mean, like that, the beaver skin trade. That's a muskox hide.
It's huge.
Yeah, it's a sound deadener. These are tan skunks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, a thing I've always been I pay a lot of attention to the fur trade. This right now is the hot ticket item in the fur trade.
Skunk.
Yeah, you know why?
No.
The hats that Orthodox Jews wear for holidays.
Yes. They're very extravagant. They're beautiful.
The hip thing right now, is to have those white, to have them made from those white skunk hairs.
I think of the Orthodox community as being kind of trend-proof, but...
No, they're not. There's a trend. It's hot.
Okay, so thank you for the tour. Thank you for having us.
Of course, thank you. I appreciate you coming in, especially coming all this way to come to me.
So you have had a really interesting journey, in my estimation, to become the person that you are now. You're kind of an evangelist for hunting, champion of hunting as a way.
I'm like an explainer of.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, explainer of.
Champion of it as a way of connecting with the land, showing reverence for the land, and as you've put it, understanding the connection between human beings and the natural world.
Mm-hmm.
You grew up in rural Michigan.
That's right.
Talk to me a little bit about some of these formative early hunting experiences that you have.
To do that right, I got to go back one little generational bit. My dad was born a long time ago. Like, he fought in World War II, okay? So my dad was raised by Italian immigrant grandparents. He was born in the south side of Chicago. He grew up in a world very, very removed from rural American life. But then when he got home from World War II, and this is a thing that he was one of those outdoorsmen that kind of was born of that experience. They had been out, for over a year. You'd been out camping, out hanging out with guys, wearing wool clothes. And they just got into it. Then when they came home, that's just what they did. There was even a comment editor of a sporting magazine had made, is like, how could you train an entire generation of men to shoot and camp and not expect them to become hunters? So he became a hunter, like, out of that world.
I never thought about that.
Yeah, so I got it from him. Like, I never decided, I never thought, I should become a hunter and fisherman. It was just what we did. I had all the normal stuff. I had friends, I liked music. Alongside it all was like this obsession, a family obsession with hunting and fishing.
Do you remember an early experience of hunting that stays with you?
Yeah, we would strike out on bikes with 22s and go hunt squirrels, but we had so much woods around, and we thought it was like public, but it was just that we just went on everybody's land.
Why hunt a squirrel?
Oh, they're great.
There's not that much meat.
No, there's a lot.
There is?
Yeah, there's a lot.
And what do you do with it?
Oh, it's like it's thinking man's chicken, man. It's like it's the same color. My mom there was a real wild game craze back then. It was like the whole era was like the cream of mushroom era. So my mom would take a crock pot and fill it full of parted out squirrels. So 2 front legs, 2 back legs, and we trim the saddle. We'd call it the saddle. It'd be like the loin pieces. You'd take a scissor and run it up the ribs. And so you got like the French call it a saddle of a hare, right? And you'd put it in a crock pot, fill it with cream of mushroom soup, and then turn that crock pot on. And in the minute you could pick all the meat off, you'd pick all the meat off.
Thinking man's chicken.
If you enjoy food and you don't have a set, rigid idea of whatever you kind of like meat's supposed to be like this. If you just kind of like food and like novel things, most people that do that like squirrels. They're very good.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
At this stage of your life, are you eating everything you hunt?
Yeah, we ate a lot of stuff. We fried a lot of stuff. Yeah. You wouldn't have thrown, that would not be a thing. Like, not a thing. In
to
our
hunt
family.
And not consume.
I remember.
Would it be a sin?
Yeah, sin I was raised in a Christian household. We wouldn't have talked about waste in terms of sin, but I remember one time in the woods, I remember my old man finding someone had dumped a bunch of wood ducks that they hadn't cleaned properly in this.
That they had hunted but not cleaned.
Yep, garbage bag. It was where everybody would haul their yard waste. And I remember my old man finding a garbage bag that had a bunch of improperly cleaned wood ducks, and it was this dude renting a house down the lake from us. And I remember my dad banged on his door and had words with him. It was like...
Well, just actually, he would have seen that as so problematic. Why?
Wasteful. Like, that was the thing. I was trying to explain earlier.
These animals lived and died for nothing if no one was going to consume them.
Yeah, it was like you didn't waste stuff, man.
After being immersed in this environment, did you just say to yourself, I want to grow up and be a hunter?
Oh, yeah. Well, no, because I just was. I never thought about it. I never stopped for a minute and then restarted.
You just were a hunter.
It's just like, it was never like, I want to get into this. It was just, that was just the main thing. always the main thing.
Was it like the most romantic thing a kid could possibly be doing? I mean, you've explained that it's just kind of a default fact of life for you.
Mm-hmm.
But it sounds like it, even at a young age, is bringing you tremendous pleasure.
Yeah, identity. Became like an identity. And then and the thing too is, through that, I fell in love with the history of it.
And how did you know the history of it? Like you're reading Daniel?
That's what I got into. Like I would read. That's what I would read. That's the main thing I would read.
What was the seminal childhood book of hunting?
Traplines North. I would check it out at the library, and then I'd recheck it out, and then I'd recheck it out. If you went to that book now and found that in the Twin Lake Library, if you went, it'd be just my name again and again, like on that book.
Just what stands out from that book?
It was like,
and just briefly describe it.
Okay, again, all that hunting and stuff. What I wanted to do was I wanted to like hunt and trap for a living. So, like, people know all these names. Daniel Boone, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people think of Boone as an explorer or a pioneer. Like, he wouldn't have thought of himself that way. Boone was a market hunter. Boone hunted for the markets. He trapped beaver. He trapped otter. He hunted bears for the bear grease market, bear oil, bear bacon market, deerskin trade. Like, that's what Boone did. Like, Boone did that for a living. All the things he's known for came out of the fact that that's what he did for a living. So as I got into it, I would just read about people that's what they would do, and that would generally force you backward in time. So I just read about trappers, and I read about hunters, commercial hunters, professional hunters, because that's what I wanted to be.
So my understanding is that even as you're aspiring to the hunting life,
mm-hmm.
you see that life early on as at odds with the whole idea of environmentalism.
Yep.
And conservation.
At that time, being in high school, I confused the environmental movement with the animal rights movement.
Which upset you because?
Well, it upset me because the animal rights movement was at that time working very aggressively to ban hunting practices, and they were having success at it.
You thought they were the enemy?
Yeah, 100%.
Because they were going to prevent you.
They were going to destroy our lifestyle.
From hunting.
The environmentalists were going to destroy our lifestyle. As a 17-year-old, right? We started a group.
You started?
Our group was Hunters Against Teenage Environmentalists. And we even won the can drive.
Hunters Against Teenage Environmentalists.
I'll show you the shirt. I still have the shirt. I somehow, because you couldn't Google stuff, I guess, I somehow got it. My buddies and I got it, whatever. We got it that the environmental movement was the animal rights movement. We conflated them. But at the same time, remember, there's this big woods we always would hunt.
Mm-hmm.
They were going to go in and log this woods. And these guys came in and marked all the wildlife trees with an orange ring. I remember me and my brother Danny sitting there matching paint. Like, I'm not kidding you, matching paint to get that color, and then putting it in a sprayer and going out and marking shitloads of extra trees.
Why?
Because we didn't want them to cut the trees down. But we're we're going to save the trees. But we hate environment. It's just we didn't know what we were talking about. We were just idiots.
You obviously get to a place where you feel that hunting and environmentalism, hunting and conservationism are actually really wedded.
Yeah.
Tell me that story. How you go from a kid wearing the hate t-shirts to suddenly seeing that hunting is environmentalism, which is ultimately where you land. So what is it that happens?
Probably the most impactful thing that happened, well, a handful of things. The buddies I grew up around, okay, guys that would have laughed at hate. We kind of didn't know what you could do for a living.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the people in my circle were I'm going to be a wildlife biologist because then you could be outside. Or I'm going to be a game warden. So they start going into wildlife and fisheries management. And imagine the awakening. And you all of a sudden start understanding ecology, right? And then conservation history. Out of that, one of my peers that goes into wildlife management introduced me, for instance, to Aldo Leopold's The Sand County Almanac, which is which is the most influential conservation, environmental text.
It's kind of a cornerstone of the movement.
Why it's the most influential is because it was written for rednecks like what we were. It was written by a guy who knew what it was to chop a tree down, who knew what it was to raise a crop, who knew what it was to hunt deer, who knew what it was to kill something and then regret killing it. Like, he was talking to his people, and he was saying, there's a thing. It's ecology. We need to know about it. Like, it's our history. No one's going to save this but us. No one understands it and loves it like us. So it was like...
So he assigns a special place to the hunter.
Yes.
This role of stewarding the land.
Yeah. For many, many people, and this is an old book by this time, he introduces this idea of the hunter conservationist. And he introduces this idea that's like, the days of us being conquerors and destroyers had to end. Right? It had to end.
Right, like Daniel Boone is known, and you've read about this, as somebody who may not have meant to, but ends up laying waste to entire...
He killed what he loved.
Species.
He killed what he loved, and he would have told you the same thing. That's why he always had to go more and more west. He had to go more and more west to get out of the areas that him and his peers had decimated.
And Leopold is saying, no.
We'd always had in this country, like, you have a preservation mindset, as exemplified by a guy named John Muir. Like, John Muir would look at a beautiful landscape and he'd say, no one should touch this. You can look at it for a minute, but don't touch it. Humans are evil. Preserve it. Theodore Roosevelt, Aldo Leopold, presented a conservation viewpoint that would be that man is going to engage with the natural world. We are going to be part of the natural world. We have to be. Are we going to do this in a way that strengthens the integrity of these natural systems where we're going to interact? Or are we going to interact in a way that destroys these systems? Aldo Leopold was speaking to the people that are going to interact with the systems. He introduced people to the idea of ecology, that natural systems rely on all of their parts, right? He was like, it's time for us to treat this as a thing we love, or else we're going to lose it. And so reading that,
you identify with it.
100%, man, because he like understood people that were out on the land. Like, reading this book hit like I didn't even appreciate it till way later in life, like how much that hit, because I understood what he was talking about. And then I read many books of people that were very uneasy with hunting, like Barry Lopez, Arctic Dreams, had a huge impact on me. Barry Lopez is very uneasy with hunting.
Why?
Obvious, because you're taking life. You're taking life. He's like a Zen Buddhist. You're taking life.
That brings me to what you become at this stage of your life. You're in college, right? After college, you get an MFA.
Yeah.
And you start writing.
By then I knew I was going to be a writer.
Right. So you're not just going to be a hunter. You're going to be a hunter who writes about hunting.
Because I was going to be a trapper. But fur prices were so bad that it was untenable. But I had a knack for writing. I thought I was going to round out my income as a trapper by writing how-to instructional trapping articles. So
it's a great plan.
Yeah, I was going to write like, late season muskrat techniques through the ice, right?
Well, I want to talk about.
That's how I began to write. But by the time I was finishing college, I wanted to be like a writer. Yeah.
Well, I want to talk about your writing because you do a lot of really interesting writing that very much embodies this lifestyle you have. You write a book about recreating this famous epic 45-course meal from a famous French chef using ingredients that you have scavenged out in the world, including, of course, wild game. You write a book about buffalo, and then you write what I consider to be your manifesto, Meat Eater. And I think it's beautifully written. And you describe, for people like me who aren't of and from the hunting world and the hunting life, what is so visceral and romantic, and also at times complicated, difficult about hunting.
Yeah.
And there's a passage I want to read.
Great.
Let me read it to you.
Let's hear it.
Quote, I was hungry in the wilderness, and here came a few tons worth of caribou, 50 yards out and closing fast. In a moment like that, there's no time for emotional dawdling. It's time for unerring judgment. It is a time for speed, both mental and physical. It is a time for action and precision and discipline. It is a time to do what millions of years worth of evolution built us to do. And in the act of doing it, you experience the unconfused purity of being a human predator, stripped of everything that is non-essential. In that moment of impending violence and death, you are gifted a beautiful glimpse of life. I want you to explain this idea, because this is the part of the hunting life that I think those of us who don't hunt with any regularity probably struggle to understand.
Yes.
Can you just explain that?
Yeah. Well, I have had the good fortune of taking many people out on their first hunting trip where they've gotten their first animal. Almost to the person. It's cathartic. People cry. It's a thing that happens. If someone kills their first deer as an adult, they cry. No regret. Never regret. But it's like something is like clicking with them about cycles of life and death. I never had that because I started so young. I deliberately started my kids very young to where nothing would surprise them. I later thought about that more when I had a chance now and then to hunt out with like indigenous hunters and gatherers in other parts of the world. You know what's absent? Like in their hunting practices? Remorse, absent. And these are people who, for generations, have hunted and fished for their living. There is like, it is joy and it is a lack of remorse. You feel honor, but like no remorse. It is taking life to them is life. It just is. It's like, I continue on.
Is that the life you're describing when you say you're gifted a glimpse of life?
Yeah. It's like, that's how you stay alive. Like that's the difference. And for like ancestral humans, for wildlife, there's like, death is you not killing.
Death is you not killing.
Yeah, because you starve. Right? Not me now, but I'm just talking about like, why do you not see signs of remorse or compassion in wildlife? Why do you not see signs of remorse or regret with indigenous hunter-gatherers? Because they've always seen with incredible clarity that taking of life, that killing,
gives life
to them and their families.
That relates to something else you write in this book I consider to be your manifesto. Why do you think so many people feel so disconnected from this thing that's so visceral for you? Do you think it's just as simple as the fact that we now all rely on vast industrial, slaughterhouse operations to get our food because we all go into grocery stores and, buy our food? You write about this. You say people have no problem eating their food, the proxy executioners. I'll never forget that phrase.
Hypocrisy, like, the thing I always think about if I'm weighing the morality of this, or if I'm like analyzing my world and analyzing my food, it's like you ask yourself a simple question. As much as it's possible, put yourself in the shoes of an animal that will ultimately be consumed by a human. Would you rather jump into and live the life of something born on a slab of concrete and like fed every day and optimized? Yeah. And like your inputs are optimized for your outputs, and it's like a done deal. When you hit 1,100 pounds, you're dead, right? Or imagine the life of a thing that is unaware, and then one day just pow, lights out in the woods. Man, that wild life, for me as a human trying to understand it, like that wild life is more beautiful and that wild life is better.
What you're saying is there's virtue in consuming an animal that has lived a rich and full and varied life on their own terms.
I believe so. There is a tremendous beauty in wildlife living in wild places. We culturally honor it. We build vacations around going to look at it. So when you're eating a thing that lived that life, live that like beautiful, wild, free life. It's just better. It's just different.
Right. It's the ultimate free range.
Yeah. It's like nothing to regret here, man. It's a beautiful place. It's a beautiful animal. It lived a beautiful life, and now it's supporting us, and we're going to support its environment so it can make more. It's tidy.
In writing about hunting, you deliver an interesting and pretty stark judgment of those who would judge hunters like you. You write, to abhor hunting is to
hate something about yourself.
You write, to abhor hunting is to hate the place of which you came, which is akin to hating yourself in some distant, abstract way.
Yeah. So human history on our continent goes back somewhere around 20,000 years. Those people were all hunters. They hunted for a living. They were hunters. Here on this continent, that only ended a couple hundred years ago. That's what's always had to happen. That's how people in what is now North America survived. They hunted. If they didn't hunt, they died. They were hunters. No matter how you define, like if you brought someone from outer space and they could come down and sort of offer you like a little bit of an analysis of hunters, and they were able to look at the scope of human history, and you're saying, hey, explain humans to me. The outer space person would look and be like, man, they're mostly hunters. Well, not lately. Right? That's like what we did. So how could it be that we've like shed all that? We haven't shed all that. So when I say that someone like abhors the practice, it's like, dude, look at yourself. Where are your eyes? They're centered on your head, so you have really good depth perception. Why do you have canine teeth? It's like, you're not that far away from this.
But the abhorring, that's real, what you're identifying here. There's a cultural chasm, right?
Yeah,
between the way you grew up and the way so many of us now see ourselves and how we see our relationship to food. And why is it the case that this thing that is so essential to you and that is at the heart of how you identify yourself has become so rare?
I could answer that in 10 ways. Let me hit you with one just to consider. If every American tomorrow went out and killed a deer,
it'd be a real problem.
We'd have a 200 million deer deficit. So it just became, besides human will, besides what we want to do, it became impossible. It became impossible. It had to be. Like, if you look at it like ecologically, it had to be. As the population exploded and as we destroyed all of our landscape, or much of our landscape, it had to be that we quit. That was the whole point of the agricultural revolutions. It allows people to live close together. There was a reason why in Native America, the land had a carrying capacity. Human populations in like historic North America were the size they were because that's how much you could fit there. That's how much you could extract from wildlife resources. And then we discover other ways. And so you can't anymore. You can't anymore. And even like, the thing I've always felt was everybody can't do it, but I wanted everyone to understand it.
So like many people in this world, you simply want to be understood.
Yeah, I want to be understood. And also you want people to recognize, this is the thing we haven't touched on yet. As I learned conservation history and I learned the outsized role of hunters in the conservation story, I also felt like we deserve more credit than we get. Right? And I was like, you should thank me. Now that I know what I know and you don't know, I know that you owe me a thanks. You owe me a debt of gratitude because by buying my hunting licenses and participating in the things I participated in, like, we saved American wildlife.
Right, and I didn't really know this or understand it very well until I read your book and read many of your writings, although I should have known this, that hunting licenses contribute directly to the funding for American conservation.
Yeah.
Steve, you've written many, many poetic passages about the act of hunting. And I want to, as we wrap up our conversation, return to one of those writings. And if you don't mind, I'm going to ask you to read this.
Oh, wow.
You got a great reading voice.
I've learned to see the earth as a thing that breathes and writhes and brings forth life. I see these revelations as a form of grace and art, as beautiful as the things we humans attempt to capture through music, dance, and poetry. And as I've become aware of this, it has become increasingly difficult for me to see hunting as altogether outside of civilization. Maybe stalking the woods is as vital to the human condition as playing music or putting words to paper. Maybe hunting has as much of a claim on our civilized selves as anything else.
It's really beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
It makes me want to go hunting with you.
Oh, really?
Yes. Well, I want to talk about this. Tomorrow morning, very early, you are taking me and my colleagues out hunting.
Mm-hmm.
And just to explain, because this episode is going to be running on Thanksgiving, we're not going to be hunting turkeys.
No.
You were very clear about that.
You can hunt turkeys here in the fall, but we hunt them in the spring.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like almost like culturally, in the spring during their breeding season, we hunt just the males. And you hunt the males when the males are out gobbling, and you can call them in. And just very selective. Just get the males. In the fall, guys will hunt. You can hunt them, but you risk killing the females. I don't like. Weirdly, I've never killed a turkey in the fall. I've killed many turkeys in the spring. I don't hunt them in the fall. So what's also fun, I love this little fact, the pilgrims, they're probably eating fowl, waterfowl, migratory waterfowl. 100% deer, probably seafood, most certainly geese. If you look at all the journals and stuff, they were eating migratory waterfowl.
So we're hunting duck?
Yeah, you will see ducks for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And you will eat ducks. I promise.
We'll eat them together. All right, well, we'll see you at dawn. Till then, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
What makes a memorable Thanksgiving? Friends and family sharing stories and dishes by candlelight? The smell of fresh turkey, stuffing, or mashed potatoes brought to life with McCormick gravy? In 135 years, McCormick has seen a lot of Thanksgivings. And while there's no one perfect meal, you know it's special when you're there. McCormick turkey gravy is the delicious flavor that completes your holiday meals. With a prep time of just 5 minutes, it might be the easiest way to make Thanksgiving memorable. Learn more at McCormick.com/holiday.
Hey, it's Vaughn Vreeland from New York Times Cooking. Colder weather is here, and I'm no meteorologist, but I think the forecast says you should bake with us.
Almost any cake can be turned into a one-bowl cake.
It's like a croissant, but like even more crunch and flake.
Oh my God, I could eat 5 billion of these.
That is a brownie. They look so chocolatey and delicious.
Don't be afraid. This is so forgiving. These are deluxe cookies.
You guys want to try this?
Bake with New York Times Cooking this season. Find all the recipes at nytcooking.com. Subscribe now for a limited time offer.
Wait, you guys got coffee already?
In the room.
Oh, the room coffee. Yeah, there he is.
Oh man, is it nice out?
Yes.
Prepare for the worst. Embrace the 50-degree 5 a.m. weather. The next morning, Steve picks us up in his very large pickup truck.
Wow, you are the picture of promptness. That was easy.
To drive us out to the duck hunting spot.
Unseasonably warm and windy.
The only question is, will the ducks notice?
They might get down to an area like this and the weather is suitable, and then they'll just hang.
So doesn't it seem like duck hanging weather?
Yeah, very duck hanging weather.
Why would you flee this weather?
Yeah, you're like, dude, you should go back north. It's too hot.
Okay, so can you just explain where we're going? You picked us up at our hotel in downtown Bozeman.
Yep. I have a buddy. There's a property over here owned by a guy named Mark Pierce. He's a friend of mine. He's a big wetlands, duck conservation guy. That's his thing. The way he, like, you know, they run cattle out there, they farm out there, but he is like his land management is wildlife first, ducks first.
Why did you want us to be hunting at this hour? Because it's 5:20 in the morning.
So there's the main movement that ducks will make, like all day, the big movement that ducks will make is at daybreak, sometime in the morning, in the cold gray light of dawn. To quote Robert O'Keen Jr., they like to float, they like to fly then. So that's why you want to be out there. And then the other thing is, it's just like, there's like a tradition component. Like, even if someone said, they're like, man, they're not really going to fly till 9 a.m.
Right.
You just kind of would feel like
lazy bones?
Yeah, you'd feel like a real loser. It's just like I like hunting turkeys almost more than anything. And we kill a lot of turkeys between 10 and noon. But it's a sin to not be out there at daybreak.
And I suppose this is old hat for you, but is this drive and the whole getting there process still filled with a lot of excitement for you every time you hunt?
Oh yeah, no, it's always. It's yeah, there's always an anticipation of what's going to happen, or there's always like an element of mystery. It's like asking a question. You know, one time I was writing something about fishing. I was saying, like, every cast is like you're asking a question. You know, waiting for the answer. So,
all right, so we're now off the main road.
Yep, and we're kind of out in the agricultural area, and this is ground out here that won't get developed ever.
So we're just pulling out into the tall grass here.
Yeah, and there's crop fields all around us, but we're kind of down in the channels of water.
At this point, we're about 25 minutes outside of Bozeman, and it's so dark we could honestly be anywhere.
It's quite beautiful just to see this all in the car lights.
Yeah, and it's fun when you go somewhere new where you don't know where you're at in the dark, and as it gets light out, you get to be like, oh.
I'm completely disoriented.
Yeah.
We pull into what looks like a grassy meadow, and we all get out. And then we meet Max Bardow.
Steve, how's it going?
Good. This is Max. Did you meet everybody?
Max works with Steve on his TV show as a videographer, but he's here this morning because he's a very good duck hunter who brought all this gear with him, along with a very important member of our hunting party, his dog, Ruby.
Yeah, this is Ruby.
Hey, you're fine.
And then suddenly it's very busy. Max and Steve are unloading a ton of stuff from their trucks.
Are you gonna wear waders, Steve?
Yeah, I'm gonna start. Okay. If you want to get real serious, I'll give you a big headlamp.
I mean, wow. Look at this thing. It's like a brass lamp affixed to a hunting cap.
It's called a raccoon light.
And of course, they're gathering their guns and their ammo.
This is your rifle.
Well, it's shotgun. Can't hunt ducks with a rifle.
Now, just to be clear, I am here observing. I'm not going to be shooting a gun today.
And then even like all this stuff is regulated. So this is called a 12 gauge shotgun. When hunting migratory waterfowl, you have to put a thing in here called a plug that prevents you from putting more than 2 shells in the magazine.
So this is a pile of plastic decoy ducks. Yeah.
There are a shocking number of duck decoys and goose decoys.
Use them to fool real ducks, which is kind of crazy to me. I always make the joke whenever like the ducks don't come in. I always say, well, yeah, we got a pile of plastic out there and 4 human beings trying to hide themselves, you know? Like, no wonder they're not coming in.
You're like, that don't look good.
Nope.
And pretty soon, we're all walking out into the grassy darkness.
Do you want one of us to carry this
Yeah.
pile of decoys?
Yeah.
Please.
You can just grab them by the handles.
Yep, I got one.
Like that.
Morning weightlifting?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're setting off for the water.
How deep is it? It's like just below my knees here.
So what we're doing is we're putting decoys here to show that there's ducks congregating here.
So that
But then the main pocket you want them to be in is right there, and that puts them more out in front of you.
So basically, right here in this vacuum is where you hope the duck is going to come land.
Yeah, like kind of a good landing area, right?
Where you just toss that rock.
Yeah, right atop that rock.
I got it.
So
It's kind of cool to now see them spread about. Suddenly looks like there's a lot of ducks in this pond, even though they're fake.
Steve, can you just describe this the structure that we're going to be going into?
Yep. This is a very nice hunting blind.
It's like a very elaborately camouflaged shoebox.
Yeah, it's got a bench to sit in. It's got a little gun rack, and then it's pictured just like a shoebox big enough to hold 7 people, or ideally 5 people, packed very tightly.
We're challenging the space.
But it's big. Mainly, it provides a structure that you can affix all this vegetation to.
Yeah, and it is like thoroughly layered with
It's
hay,
meant to-
brush,
It's
branches,
meant to blend in, yeah.
I mean, if
Ducks
you didn't
can
know
see-
it was here, it wouldn't be here.
Ducks can see color. They can be very hard to trick. And so this just allows you to stay concealed. That's a dog box.
Yeah, that's going to make you entirely camouflaged, right? You want to give me one?
That's for his dog. That can't.
That's so your dog is camouflaged.
Yeah.
She loves it. Like, it's crazy. If I don't bring her, she is so teed off at me, just like.
So we pile into this duck blind. You mind if I go in?
No.
I'll be down on this side. I'm not seeing you.
Steve plants himself at the far end of the blind, and Max is at the other end. So you're.
What's that?
So that's loaded now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is the safe. Do we have everybody within earshot? Because you're not shooting, there's not a lot to know about, but I really can't think of any way you'd get shot. Don't
get shot.
Yeah, don't stand up unexpectedly. You don't have shotguns, so you can't really do any damage. Yeah, never mind. I can't picture a world in which you'd get hurt. Don't jump out of the blind, but you can't because Max is on the end. There's nothing to do.
And after all the work of placing the decoys and getting the dog into the dog blind, and all of us humans and our gear into the duck blind, there's nothing to do but wait. So it's now about 6:30 a.m. and first light is emerging, and the silhouettes of the mountains now appear with the sun behind them. Oh, and that's our first actual real bird sighting. Just flew right over us. I think that was a goose. Wait, what was that? Oh, that was me blowing my call. Duck, that's your duck call. Max has with him a variety of duck calls, these little wind instruments that are hanging around his neck.
Do you see that duck swimming there?
Yeah.
That's a drake mallard.
He blows them occasionally to attract the birds.
He's the one that's making this noise right now.
And he's really, really good at it.
Hey, Max, what was legal light?
42.
Oh, we got 2 minutes.
Now that we're settled, Steve and Max become very conscious of the time.
You can legally hunt ducks 30 minutes before legal sunrise. There's a duck. That's great.
And Max lets Steve know, officially,
You're good to go.
Yep.
that they're good to go.
Here comes some ducks right here.
And Steve shoots a bird right out of the sky. It all happens so fast. You just shot and killed the very first duck you saw of the morning.
No, we saw a lot of ducks this morning.
No, you just...
That was the first duck at legal light.
And you hit it.
Yep. We hit one.
The dog returns to the blind with the duck in its mouth. That's the most efficient thing I've ever seen.
Ruby Kettle.
Max tucks the duck onto a little shelf in front of us. And right away, Steve starts to spot more and more birds flying overhead.
Look at all those ducks. Look at this.
And the rest of the morning proceeds just like that. There are these very long periods of silence, some hits, and some misses.
No, you know those people that make those rugs and they put an imperfection in there so that it's not insulting to God, you know? Like Max has this little thing where he'll do a miss now and then.
What's that? You making fun of me because I missed?
No, he's calling you godlike.
Oh.
And we're just kind of hanging out together.
Well, no, he doesn't want to seem pompous to God in the eyes of God, so he misses nothing.
Inside this incredibly tiny duck blind, in the middle of this gorgeous grassy wetland.
As they better understand bird vision, there's this idea that iridescence is like glowing neon. That this, in their vision, is like, you know, like they're very tuned into that iridescence.
And I start to feel this camaraderie. We're all now in league together. And then every so often, Max and Steve become extremely focused once again on the sky. Everyone gets serious.
Right side, right side, right side.
And then another duck is down.
Good girl.
Max returns to the blind with the bird, and he holds it out to me.
Michael, you can grab it. He's very pretty. Yeah, you can just grab him like this. Grab him. He's a little wet, but...
Wow, I've never held a duck in my hands before, living or dead. Wow.
He's got so many different colors on him, too. Like...
It's still warm.
Yeah.
I'm holding this still warm duck with his beautiful feathers. Dark green, dark blue. It's kind of white fringed at the edges. Steve, I'm feeling the things now.
What are you feeling?
I'm feeling all the things.
Oh, really?
I mean...
You feel something.
This creature in my hands that was alive 10 seconds ago and is now still warm, and I'm feeling all the feelings that you write about. It's like, it's beautiful, it's sad, it's...
Do you feel, like regret?
Do I feel regret?
Like, are you like, man, we shouldn't have done that?
No, that's not the first...
Swarming us.
That's not the feeling I have. I just feel connected to this thing. That's what I feel. I feel connected to it in a way that's kind of hard to explain.
Like my daughter, she'll want to lay them a certain way. She kind of smooths them out.
Wow. I feel like this is changing my relationship to the sky. I'm just like scanning the sky looking for any sign of wings. Because they come so quickly.
By 9 a.m., there is a row of 8 birds lined up inside this duck blind.
Can I stand up, Steve?
Yeah, we're done.
And Steve calls it. We're done.
So that's it.
Yep.
We're done. 8 ducks. 2 hours.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
After the break, our hunting expedition concludes in Steve's kitchen.
Mom, making Thanksgiving dinner looks like so much work. How do you make it taste so good?
Well, the prep is just as crazy as it looks, but here's a little secret. The gravy. McCormick tastes great on almost everything.
How about the mashed potatoes?
Oh, come on. Too easy.
Turkey?
Yep.
Green beans?
Mm-hmm.
Stuffing? Rolls?
McCormick turkey gravy is a favorite around here. It's quick to make, and as you can tell, it's delicious on a lot of dishes. It wouldn't be Thanksgiving without it. Learn more at McCormick.com/holiday.
Hi, it's Michael Sullivan from Wirecutter, the product recommendation service from the New York Times. And today we're in the kitchen testing canned tomatoes. We're tasting for sweetness, acidity, definitely the color, the texture. These tomatoes, they're pretty velvety, like they break apart easily with a spoon. The guides that we write are living, breathing things. It's a piece of fruit in a can, so it's gonna change every year. At Wirecutter, we do the work so you don't have to. For independent product reviews and recommendations for the real world, come visit us at nytimes.com/wirecutter.
Okay, so we're on our way to Steve's, where the ducks await us, and we're gonna pluck them, butcher them, eat them. Okay.
here, there's no question this is Steve's house because there's a beautiful set of antlers hanging over the garage. I think it's actually a full skull. It's a huge, full skull with antlers, just like the Meat Eater logo. And a lot more antlers as we approach the front door. Oh, the door's open. Literally, open door, which is very welcoming. The whole family's here.
The whole family's here.
So we arrive at Steve's house. Okay, I'm Michael.
Hi, Michael. I'm Katie.
And we meet his wife, his 3 kids, plus their friends.
Hey, why don't you go introduce yourself?
Hi, everybody.
We'll go this way to start.
Okay.
You want latex gloves? You good?
I think I'm okay just doing it with my bare hands.
Okay, bare hand.
So we're in
the garage. We could do it inside, but we'll do it out here.
That makes sense to do it on the garage. So when you butcher outside here in the garage?
Usually inside. Sometimes stuff with feathers out here.
So here are 4 ducks.
Yep. You want to see how to do it?
Yeah, I would like you to show me.
Okay, so
you're just grabbing all the feathers on the chest and just pretty gently ripping them off.
See, those could be teeth marks from the dog or pellet.
Why does it feel like my plucking is so insufficient?
Oh, it's a learned thing. It's like blowing on a call. Like the first time sucks, and you get better and better at it.
All right, I think I'm ready to face your judgment.
You're not close yet. Like,
keep going, bud.
Yeah, in the end, you'll get it where you just kind of go like this. You don't need to do the back, okay. Unless you want a whole roaster to bring home.
Can you take duck interstate?
Yeah. Well, you got to decide. Like, well, I would give you this one because this one's perfect. So we would pluck this, leave a fully feathered wing, and you can walk right down the plane with it. You don't even need to check it. They might detect an organic mass, as they call it in TSA land, but you're not. There's no problem. You would just be like, no, I have frozen food, and you're fine. If you'd like this to bring home, because that's a perfect specimen. Look at that thing.
It's beautiful.
Looks like something out of Christmas Carol, don't it?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
With just a couple of pellet marks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think I'm getting the neck of my thumb movement.
No, you're looking good now. So that's what you're after. And we can even clean that up more with a blowtorch, but
with a blowtorch?
So just take this, very from a distance, burn those little hairs off.
Mm-hmm. Is this the right distance?
Just enough where you watch them just get zapped. All right, let me go get the top.
Is this?
Yep, just real light. Don't cook it. Yeah, you're doing good. Then when we wash them, they'll look real good.
Did not expect to be using a blowtorch.
Okay, see this? See this breastbone?
Mm-hmm.
Come in like that. Then you know when you see chicken tenders on a menu and kids want to order them?
Mm-hmm.
That's that. That's a duck tender.
Oh, that's that kind of classic duck fat.
See, that's good stuff. Okay, good?
Yeah, head to the kitchen.
Yep.
And then we move from the garage into the kitchen. So you kind of have an indoor kitchen and an outdoor kitchen.
Yeah. And that's nice. It's covered, you know. In the winter, it's long.
Where Steve has been preparing this wild game feast using every imaginable cooking method. He is using a smoker.
Ooh, dude, that's overdone.
Ah, damn it. Apparently we've overcooked the turkey.
The wild turkey, as is Thanksgiving tradition.
Yes, it's totally true. He's using an open fire.
That's like that sous vide goose.
And then you're putting it on a rack.
Just to like crisp it up.
Put on top of an open. This is a rack on an open fire.
Yep, it's cooking it on a fire.
And one by one, these